After nearly 10 years as an entrepreneur and over $50,000 spent for my business, in my business, I want to share with you the 4 most important things that I have learned that moved the needle in my business, that grew my business, so you don't have to. Ciao and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Monica Valero and I've spent 20 years as a storyteller, nearly 10 as an entrepreneur, and helped hundreds of coaches, healers, soul-led entrepreneurs build their business, grow their brand, and really share their mission to leave an impact on this earth. In these 10 years, plus, I've invested a lot in my personal growth and my business growth and spent a lot of money, spent a lot of time. I have been a client and a student in a lot of marketing programs, self-development programs, etc., and hired a lot of amazing coaches and mentors. The one thing that I have learned that I haven't found is something that I actually created after that, is that a lot of people teach how to niche down. And although I'm all about niching down, because that's how you talk to your people, I always felt a little bit put in a box, and that's how my clients actually feel that way as well. What I didn't find is how to find your it factor, because a niche, yes, it can be a particular niche. There's a lot of people with the same niche. So how does that make you different? So the way I call it zone of genius. And I actually developed this method after my second child. I went into a sort of slump in my business, in my life. Maybe it was postpartum depression as well. That helped me actually creating this method. I used to teach coaches and healers how to make 10 grand in their business. Easy. I can teach you that in 5 minutes, but that didn't feel aligned with me anymore. And I knew that I was much more than that. My clients had much more than that, and not just financially, but as a transformation, as a person, as an entrepreneur. They were growing, their identity changed, and their businesses changed as well.
Wins. So many. Can I count them all? Can I count them all? I converted a client, I converted someone new. That's more like 3 grand. I think the biggest win is that I just feel really sure about everything. And that's a really big thing. You know, like I feel sure about the marketing. I feel sure about being here. Like
I needed to create this system because nobody else out there taught me that. And it all stems into your story. You have a story. Who are here, a story to tell. Everyone has one, and we are all unique. And so when you actually leverage that and you link it to your zone of genius, to the modality, to your way of doing things, that's how you leverage your zone of genius. That's what make people want to work with you and also remember you. That's what make people interested in you and want to follow you and eventually buy from you. Some people call it unfair advantage, but it's not just your transformation that is caused by pain. It can even be caused by your insights, your profession, your experience. And that has to be linked with not just your experience, but the way in which you're positioning yourself, the way you're thinking, the way you want to lead. All these little important parts of your brand that differentiate you. Number 2 is still linked to your story, but how to use storytelling in your messaging. Messaging is super important. As a transformational coach, my messaging was, I help people rewire their limiting beliefs so that they can have the life of their dream. It's okay. I didn't know any better. And that's what I actually did. And that's what my clients actually needed. But I was talking to the need, what they needed, not what they wanted. A lot of people don't know they have limiting beliefs. And so my messaging was watered down. Like people were like, okay, that's not me. I don't have really limiting beliefs. And also was very generic. So if you're selling transformation, know that it's totally possible to make it tangible and totally possible to make it powerful in a way that your ideal clients are going to buy from you without imitating anyone else in your space. And with that said, that's why storytelling is the most powerful tool that you can ever use. Because when we try to explain things conceptually, people understand them, perhaps, but they are not drawn to what you're saying. They're not drawn to your story. So a lot of people online, especially on YouTube or in any other platforms, they use visual storytelling to make some concepts understood better and faster by their audience. But you can use stories, not just your story, but use different frameworks, different stories to describe anything really, whether it's your methodology or a concept or even a testimonial. And I didn't learn this so much with the $50,000 that I've spent. I actually learned it with my prior 20 years as a storyteller, as an actress and stand-up comedian and writer. When I apply that to the messaging that I've learned from marketers, oh my goodness, I cannot even tell you. That changed everything completely. I've taken a lot of marketing programs, and I realized that one of the reasons why people were not successful was one or these four elements. And the third element that I want to share with you is super important. And I wish someone held that container for me, because having a business is beautiful. I will not trade this life with anything else. This is my mission. I'm sure it is for you as well, whether you haven't started yet or maybe you're super successful already. It gives you a lot of time, it gives you a lot of freedom, but there are some barriers that you have to overcome so you can go to the next level. And before you go to the next level, before having the breakthrough, you have the breakdown. It's very easy to feel defeated, or it's very easy to feel imposter syndrome or self-sabotage. So when you have the breakdown, who's gonna be there for you? Yeah, maybe your spouse, maybe your best friend, maybe your parents. When someone who knows what you're talking about, who knows the marketing, who knows the inner work is there for you, then you get to the next breakthrough much faster. And that's what I provide for my clients. Now, the number four, I just have to say that I have learned it with all the money that I have spent. I've had amazing mentors, and it's sales. Coming from someone who used to hate sales, really, I didn't like it because it felt sleazy, it felt too much. I had to work on my money mindset, blocks, whatever you want to call it. Invisible barriers, subconscious beliefs. I had to work on that so much. But not just the inner work when it comes to sales, also how to articulate certain things, how to talk, the confidence in which I had to speak with someone when talking about my services. Even if I know that my services were amazing, but really how to be of service with people. And I had amazing mentors. I invested in myself in a lot of programs, and that is one of the fundamentals when it comes to having an online business. What I found is that a lot of soul-led online entrepreneurs focus a lot on their skills, on your gifts, but less in the marketing your offer, and less in selling your offer. But it's equally important, because selling is serving the people who need you. One of the best advice I've ever received is when you are on a discovery call and you are on a call with your dream client, right? And maybe they are afraid, maybe they have a lot of questions. You are trying to sell your offer, right? You're just showing what you have, and they're trying to sell you their limitations. But in order to serve them at the highest good, you have to fight for them. Anyway, I love sales so much right now, especially in this phase of my business where I had a lot of resistance. A year and a half ago, when I did a pivot 2 years ago, and then I wasn't able to sell anything with my previous kind of niche because that didn't feel aligned anymore. That offer wasn't aligned with me, and also I was postpartum, I remind you. So I was not in a space of alignment. And some people probably will comment, oh, you don't have to be in alignment to make a sale. Well, that's how I want to feel, at least. I don't want to close the sale just because I have to close the sale. In fact, I am not a closer, I'm an opener. I open conversations and I open relationships. And that's what I teach my clients, to open relationships with their potential clients. And that's what I've learned spending over $50,000 in my business. And mind you, I am a hard worker. I am a doer. I'm a good student. If I purchase, even if it's like a $97 offer, you bet I'm going to go through all of the things. Not because I'm a perfectionist, but because if I invest in something, I want to make things right. I care about what I'm doing. I care about my business. So if I purchase something, that means that it's valuable for me. And so I've applied a lot of the teachings that I purchased. And some of them were like, some of them, they were great and changed my life, right? And this is not going to be the last time that I invest in myself, in my personal growth, and in my business either. But I also am happy that teaching business as a part of what I do, I realized that I'm filling a huge gap in this industry. I don't even like to call it coaching industry because I also serve people who are not coaches as well, people who have a story and have an online business, have online services, but people who are purpose driven, right? And I work on visibility with them, whether it's on their messaging, whether it's on their inner visibility, on their storytelling, and even sales. What I found is that a lot of people out there are pushing their own agenda, and it's normal. You've learned something and you're trying to sell that, right? Totally normal. And I'm cool with that. But my unbiased opinion is that in order to grow a business, you really need to leverage what makes you different, your messaging, so the way you are positioning your offer and yourself, your brand, especially if you're growing a personal brand, which seems to be the thing now. But then people online are saying, oh, it's not the thing anymore because they're clickbaity. But anyway, I do believe that it always existed, the personal brand, but now it's like a buzzword. And I believe that you can also have a personal brand even if you don't have a lot of followers. You can still have like a mini personal brand and be recognized in the industry because of that. And being recognized doesn't mean that, again, you have to have millions of followers. And the inner visibility that requires you to get out of your shell, even if you are a super extroverted person, but especially if you're introverted or ambiverted like me, where you don't love social media. I mean, you do it because you gotta, but it's not something that you will love to do all day. And also these feelings that come up because, yes, it's all about numbers and metrics and blah, blah, blah. But I love to live my life and to do business in alignment, which is not always possible. I do things that I don't want to do because that's how I grow. I put myself out of the comfy zone, I'm outside of the blanket. I'm trying to be like, okay, what is uncomfortable today? But also, I want to do things that light me up. I want to do things that light my soul on fire. And hopefully you too. And number 4, soul sales, selling with authenticity. Long story short, you need to have a strategy for client acquisition, which especially at the beginning, but not limited to, even if you've been in business for a long time, it has to be organic strategy. So how to get clients no matter what, even if your ads are not working, if you're doing paid ads, or if you're not putting content out there, how to do so, and how to position yourself in your field. And identity. Identity work is the work. It's not the only work. Strategy is super important, but identity work constantly. Who do I need to be in order to get what I want? By applying these 4 elements only, you're going to be able to really grow your brand and business in a simple way. And if you're ready to accelerate your business growth, book a call below where we're going to show you how you can implement all this that we talked about today in your own business. No strings attached. Book a call with me or my team. One of us will be there. If you want to share your story, make sure you don't make any of these mistakes over here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you there. Ciao, ciao.